Welcome to the Deep Dive, with a show that plunges right into these fascinating stories and pulls out those real nuggets of insight you probably won't find anywhere else.
That's the plan.
And today, wow, we're looking at a brand that just sort of rewrote the rule book on growth, built this whole empire, really, not just on a product, but on like pure art, community, and this almost mysterious vibe.
Yeah, it's a really compelling story. We're talking about Frosé Genetics. And this is, a deep look into how one person, starting out in the San Fernando Valley, basically carved out this completely unique space, balancing that artistic side with some really smart business moves and, well, just getting the culture. And they became this global icon in a field that's, let's be honest, incredibly competitive.
Definitely is. And for this deep dive, our main source is a piece called Frosé Genetics, From Valley to Global Cannabis Icon. It's presented by Nug Notes, and the title really sums it up. Cold-cured, candy-coated, the Frosé Genetics story.
Great title.
It is. So our mission today, we're going to try and pull out the key insights, maybe some surprising facts from this source. We'll trace that journey, from the sort of underground beginnings, all the way to these super high-end collectible products, and really dig into what it means to scale the right way in a market that's just changing so fast.
It's a crucial question.
So let's start at the beginning. How did this whole thing get started? Where did Frosé Genetics first put down roots?
Well, it's a pretty cool start, actually. Very humble beginnings right there in LA's San Fernando Valley. The founder was, believe it or not, juggling classes at Cal State Northridge.
No way.
Yeah, with these early, really small-scale operations. The source mentions using what Prop 215 allowed back then, California's medical cannabis law.
The old med law.
Exactly. So doing these house grows and delivery runs around town, you can picture it, right? A real grassroots thing. Balancing school with this informal, small-scale trapping, as the source puts it, direct to consumer.
That is some serious hustle right from the start. Okay, so from that, balancing act, what was the turning point? What really let them step up and start figuring out their own path, soaking up game from the bigger names?
Yeah, that big shift came after graduation. Between 2019 and 2021, they were actually managing a recreational dispensary.
Okay.
And this wasn't just punching a clock, it was like a masterclass in networking. It's where they met the founders of huge brands, Runts, Doja Pack, Wizard Trees.
Wow. Right there in the mix.
Totally. And seeing how those established players operated up close, that apparently lit the fire for Frosé to build something totally unique, their own thing.
That's really interesting. That exposure didn't make them copycats, but drove them to be, fiercely different. So how did that core idea, art before algorithms, become such a big deal for the Frosé brand?
Well, that's kind of the magic here, isn't it? That philosophy meant focusing on aesthetics, unique presentation right from day one. Their very first big drop, Platinum Cherry Bomb, it came in these really different holographic sticker bags.
But I remember those.
Yeah. The source says they turned heads. It wasn't just about what was in the bag. It was that immediate visual pop. It signaled, hey, we care about the art right from the jump.
And that commitment to art, it really exploded with their packaging later on, right? The PS5 game case packaging in 2024. That wasn't just unique. It went properly viral.
Oh, completely. Blew up. The source says it pulled 37 million views on X. 37 million. And it apparently started an industry-wide wave.
Incredible. So what's the lesson there, you think, for anyone trying to stand out?
I mean, the insight seems pretty clear. If you're in a crowded space, doing something genuinely unexpected and novel with your packaging can be a massive disruptor. It can define your whole brand.
Right.
It shows that if you push those creative boundaries, you can create a moment that goes way beyond the product itself. It gets people talking, defines who you are, and grabs attention like nothing else.
Yeah, that viral hit definitely cemented their innovative reputation.
Yeah.
Okay, so they've got this strong foundation, this unique look. What was the next big strategic move for Frosé Genetics? Especially thinking about, geography.
Well, the vision definitely got bigger. A trip to the East Coast in 2022 seems to have been a key moment.
Yeah.
It sparked this shift, what they call the candy that kills vision.
Candy that kills, okay.
Yeah, it was about seeing the potential beyond just California, looking eastward.
And they moved fast on that.
Yeah.
How do they actually pull off that bi-coastal strategy? Like, how do they keep a foot in both camps, influence both coasts?
They were smart about it. By the end of 2022, Frosé actually packed up and moved to New Jersey.
Really? New Jersey?
Yeah, but it was strategic. It was about building relationships there, helping East Coast brands get their hands on that really desirable Cali work for their own product drops.
Okay. Facilitating.
Exactly. Then, fast forward to late 2023, they moved back to California, but, and this is the clever bit, they kept an office running in New York. So that made sure both coasts stayed active, stayed connected. It shows a really, savvy way to expand geographically, influencing both major markets at the same time.
That makes sense. That bi-coastal presence, it's not just about selling in two places. It's about being part of the conversation in both. Which kind of leads me to thinking about how they elevated the whole thing. How did Frosé Genetics go beyond just selling a product to creating this whole luxury experience?
Right. That's where this idea they call trap-styled luxury comes in. It's a fascinating concept. It's about building this entire ecosystem around the product.
Okay.
Turning it from just something you consume into like a collectible item, a high-end lifestyle thing.
I'm really curious about this trap-styled luxury. How did they start making that happen? Like, what are some actual examples of that strategy in action?
Well, the 2023 Dulce launch is a prime example. It wasn't just the product drop. It came with these collector sets. Think limited sweaters, ashtrays, little trinkets, all packed into these single-unit boxes.
Okay, more than just the flower.
Way more. Then, 2024, you had the Trapstation, those PS5 cases we talked about. That really solidified that whole wave of innovative packaging.
Right.
But they kept pushing it. In 2025, the Froyard Mansion launch apparently raised the bar again. Eighths came bundled with these chain wallet pouches, and quarter-pounds QPs, they came in these handcrafted briefcases. Handcrafted briefcases. Yeah, it just shows this escalating commitment to super high-end presentation, making everything feel like a collectible.
Wow. So it sounds super exclusive, but wasn't there also a community aspect? The source mentions the freezer stays stocked and how they showed love to real candy chasers, not clout chasers. How did that play out? How did they build loyalty?
That's key, too. It wasn't just about the fancy stuff. They did things like 1-pound raffles to grinders and drip, merch and actual product giveaways. These weren't just random contests. They felt like genuine appreciation for their core fans, the real enthusiasts. It fostered this really deep loyalty, making the brand feel both exclusive and appreciative of the people who were truly into it. That builds an organic following that, money just can't buy.
Yeah, that authentic connection is powerful. And speaking of Dulce, that core product line, it wasn't just static, right? It evolved quite a bit.
Yeah.
Tell us about how the product itself got refined.
Absolutely. It wasn't just about the cool packaging. Dulce Volume 2, that came out onto private menus in 2024. The source notes, it was fine-tuned using 2 cutting-edge facilities. So investment in the actual production.
Right, improving the core offering.
Exactly, not just a rebrand. And then 2025's Dulce Volume 3, that's highlighted for further elevating the product's cure.
The cure, okay. That's crucial for quality.
Crucial. It's that final drying and aging process impacts everything, flavor, smell, the whole experience. Getting that right apparently earned Volume 3 cult favorite status. It just underlines this constant push for better quality, proving that, yeah, the packaging is cool, but the product inside has to keep getting better too.
That makes total sense. So you've got this innovation, this cult status, amazing packaging. How do you grow a brand like that without killing the magic? What's Frosé's plan for scaling up?
Well, that's where they seem really careful, really deliberate. The plan, according to the source, is to bring their flour into retail, but only to select SoCal rec shops. Just select ones.
Only select shops. So definitely not flooding the market.
No, definitely not. They're explicitly not aiming for mass market saturation.
That's a big decision. It feels like choosing exclusivity over just being everywhere.
Right.
What's the thinking there? Why keep access so tight?
I think it's about protecting that mystique, right? Preserving the feeling that it's high value, hard to get. The source emphasizes this commitment to keeping access tight for true connoisseurs. It's a strategy that purposefully picks exclusivity and, top quality over just being on every shelf. It keeps the brand aspirational, something people seek out, rather than just another option.
And that whole mystique, that exclusivity, it brings us right back to that core vibe of the Frosé Genetics brand. Cold brand, hot terps, How does that phrase kind of tie it all together?
It really nails it, doesn't it? It perfectly captures how they flipped a frozen idea into fire flower, starting in Woodland Hills and taking it all the way to the East Coast.
Yeah.
It speaks to that transformation, taking a concept, maybe something cool and conceptual, and turning it into this premium, highly desirable product. And that final tagline the source mentions, the freezer's open, but only if you know where to look.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it just perfectly sums up the brand's exclusivity, that almost secret society feel, and makes sure, only the true fans, the real connoisseurs, are going to find it.
What a fascinating story.
Yeah.
Seriously, from those really grounded beginnings in the SFV, using the system, networking early on, to becoming this global name, Frosé Genetics really gives you a masterclass in how killer branding, smart growth, and just sticking to quality and community can build something truly special.
It really does. And it makes you think, what are the takeaways here for you listening? It doesn't matter what industry you're in. Maybe it's about spotting trends. Maybe it's the power of truly unique, even viral branding.
Right.
Or maybe it's just mastering that tricky balance between growing your business and keeping that exclusive feel. This story is kind of a roadmap for building something that really connects with a specific group of people.
It really is. And maybe that leaves us with one last thing to chew on. In this world of endless options, where everyone's pushing for mass everything, what's the real lasting value of scarcity? Of having something carefully curated? How does deliberately limiting access actually shape what people want, how loyal they become? Could that kind of mystique, that exclusivity, actually be the ultimate way to build a powerful brand for the long haul? Something to think about.